Hello everyone, we are back on Bharat Trailblazers, and we are right now going to focus more on the entrepreneurial women and the women who are really breaking barriers. We've got these two wonderful women who have broken a lot of barriers. They started, a chain which I'm sure is known to each one of us, and we use it on a daily basis. It's called Suchalis. So we've got Mithali and Suchali from Suchalis. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time. And let's just start. So tell me, Suchali, where did you start from? And not about the business. Just talk about yourself first.
So, by education, I've done management studies, and I was, by default, after my graduation, I was in the finance field and the management field. But shortly, I realized that this 9 to 9 was not really working for me. So,
So you mean 9 to 9 morning, evening, or 9 to 9 morning?
the job,
Okay.
9 to 9,
Okay.
the clock,
The clock,
and then
right.
I was not really thoroughly enjoying it. So I was really looking for something which I would love doing every day, which I would wake up for in the morning. So when I traveled to Europe in 2015, that's where I saw the European artisan breads for the first time. I had no clue living in India that these breads exist. The maximum you could see was these oval loaves in five-star hotels, and back then the exposure to five-star hotels was very limited for us in the younger age. So it really opened my eyes, and I was a bread lover since my childhood. I would always prefer a slice of bread over roti any day. And as a child, you were always told that bread is bad for health, have roti, don't have bread. So that's what the parents impose on you. And when I discovered that these kind of breads and these kind of products exist somewhere in the world, and
Which part of Europe did you go to?
so I had, like, it was not even Paris. Otherwise, everybody would assume that I was in Paris, but I was in Switzerland and I was in Italy. That's where I saw the baguette for the first time. I saw some round shaped bread for the first time. It was hard, but the bread had its own flavor.
That's the place where you got the idea from.
I just discovered it. I had no idea till then what I would do with it. And when I was back home and I was in the dire need of finding something which I would love doing, and I was like very, very desperate to find something what would really interest me. So when I started researching, and that time I didn't even know what East was. A couple of years back, we used
Let's
to
go back to your education. Where did you do your education from?
So
Are
I've
you
started.
from Delhi, NCR? Are you from, where did you study from?
So I'm from Ambala.
Right.
It's in Haryana, and I've studied from Narsi Munshi College in Bombay.
Okay, so from Ambala to Mumbai, and you did your MBA from NS?
No, I've just done my
Yeah.
bachelor in management
Okay,
studies.
so let me just ask Mithali, where did you study from, and what's your
So
education
I've
background?
I've studied in Delhi and schooling and bachelor's in Delhi while at home, and then I did my MBA from Pune, Symbiosis.
And how did you guys meet each other?
That's
We happened to meet at one cafe in Gurgaon in Sikandarpur.
So was that before you starting anything, or?
so that was very shortly after I started Suchalis, and Mithali was one of my best customers then. So we used to interact a lot, and that's how we
I
met.
remember that day. That was like around afternoon, and I'm seeing this big car and Suchali pulling crates out and delivering
To the cafe.
to the cafes.
Right.
So yeah, so that was the the first time we actually met, and I was really impressed because she was the only one probably baking herself and then also delivering herself.
So let's start. Maybe let's start now where we stopped, about your Europe trip, where you discovered what is really the artisan breads which are there, and whether it was in Switzerland, Italy. Typically, people do it in France, but you discovered it in Switzerland. So what did you do when you came back?
So when I came back, then I started searching around, like what kind of breads do we get in India apart from those regular, the loaves we get at every store around us. So I realized that, the croissants and these breads, these artisan looking breads, are only available in the 5-star hotels.
Right.
And then when I discovered what sourdough was and how is it made and how is it more gut friendly for you, then I really wanted to try my hands on it. That I should just try it first. I have to learn how to make it. So I just started with step 1.
So you baked the first bread at your home?
So before that, I had actually gone to the US to learn everything from scratch under a baker.
Right.
Back in 2017.
Right.
And then I bought my one oven and the mixer, but it could not be installed at home, unfortunately. But I think it was a blessing in disguise. So I had to bake my first loaf just in a very small space outside of my house.
And what was the feeling when you baked your first loaf? And who ate the first loaf? And what was the reaction? I mean, who was the guinea pig?
So I knew what standards I had learned
Right.
when I had apprenticed with a baker in US. When I came back home, nothing worked like how I had learned. The ingredients were different. Even arranging for a basic baking tray was very, very, very difficult because the market is not structured. Like there's no restaurant depot here that you can just go and buy all the supplies from there and come back. So it was a tough journey to start with. The first loaf I baked was awful. Like it was like really, really bad.
I have a picture of those.
I still do.
Yeah, but she hasn't tasted it.
Yeah. But yeah, I still do have that. And I think the first loaf, the person who tried was my husband. And he also said, it's awful. Are you sure you really want to do this?
Yeah.
So that was the first.
So then how did you make the second, third, fourth, if it was awful?
And I think I kept trying because in my head I knew that what I had learned, what was the standards I had to get to. So this whole fight for a couple of months, and it I think probably stretched a year to find the right ingredients, to find the right baking tools and the other essentials. So.
Yeah. And what was the first commercial sale that you did? I mean, how did you do your first commercial sale? When did that happen? And how did that happen?
So I won't call it really commercial. It was a very unorganized sale. Right. So for me, it's like charity begins at home. So it started with the word of mouth through my own condominium. So I had, when
more like a home kitchen, is it?
Yeah.
You started with a home kitchen and then.
Yeah, that small space outside of home though,
Right.
but started as a home kitchen. And I used to, when I realized that, okay, now my product is like the first starting point is decent enough. So then I spread the word in my society, made them taste for free, right. And then collected the orders. If anybody wants for an almond croissant for Sunday breakfast, please let me know. I would collect orders for 3-4 days in the week and only supply once a week. So
And
that's
that
how
was
it all
which part-
started.
Which year was it?
This was 2017.
2007. Let's just come back to what you were saying. So when you met Suchali at a cafe delivering breads, and so how did you guys kind of got together?
I think we.
I'll start going to cafes and try to find some startup. See how can I partner with him? But
No, yeah. So we met that day, and so like she said that croissants and breads were not like normally available. It's not something that I can go to any other cafe in Gurgaon or Delhi and try that out. So the product was very different. And then we gradually met again, and there was one, then we had a push cart in Cyber Hub, so that was again one, that was the only physical brand presence of Suchali's, one small push cart in Cyber Hub.
right.
So that was our, I think, first presence wherein customers can come and we can talk to them and they can.
So that was the first outlet that you had, or
So
a semi-outlet? Or
That was like the first physical presence of the brand.
And that was the first physical presence that this is an individual small car. So Charlie is wearing, she used to bake croissants, and there was one guy who was like selling them the entire.
Yeah, it was just a 6x4 push cart, like just the size of a table.
In the heat, and and when it's super cold, but
yeah, right.
yeah. So then I visited there. She was there. Then she showed me. I was like, yeah. Then we started speaking about how she thinks about going forward, about the business. उस time पे इतना ज़्यादा बड़ा तो सोचा ही नहीं था. उस time तो we just started. We were like, she was like, अभी from one kitchen I'm starting, and उतना it was, you know, the even
The
thought
thinking was very
There was no plan then.
there was no plan because उस time ऐसा कोई market study या market research करने नहीं किया था, and I think उस time even this category was fairly new to the market, right? तो even वहाँ पे customer का awareness, you know, telling people about this
This
product.
was all before COVID or after?
Yeah, before.
This was
All
before COVID.
Before COVID.
Yeah, this was before COVID.
Much before COVID.
Much
yeah.
before. So then you guys kind of came together. How was the
Yeah.
conversation? How was the first conversation of working,
when-
coming together?
So when, like, I'll tell you my
But
side
both of
of
us, we
this.
do not have a culinary background.
So yeah, I kind of developed the culinary side.
You were the taster for her.
So I kind of developed.
Probably.
I kind of developed the culinary side in me, but when I started interacting with Mitali, she would always talk about some numbers or something else, which, you know, was not my domain really then. So
But you were a finance person.
yeah, I was, but then, you know, currently then wherever she was working, like she was
So
working.
my background was I had some small stints in startups. And also I also interacted with a lot of small scale startups who were like looking to this was back in 2016 17, who were looking to, you know, pitch themselves and raise money. So I had, you know, kind of
The investor pitching skills is.
I didn't have the investor pitching skills.
So she would
but
talk
I-
this language of a startup, which was fairly a little something different for me.
I mean, it's very rare to see. You know, typically a lot of founders, when they come together either being in college together. A lot of engineering college founders together. They start the startup and the idea generates from there. So yeah, I mean, it's maybe cafes is a new place to find startup founders, co-founders. Yeah, but
I
that's
think
it.
that's what we want to create now.
So just go back and then you kind of got together and said, let's make this big. What was the inflection point for Suchali's? So what was the point where you said, okay, now home done, one card in Cyber Hub done, and Cyber Hub for a lot of people who are hearing this is one of the busiest hubs in Gurgaon. But one card in Cyber Hub done, how should we? What is next for us? I mean, what was the inflection point? When did you start thinking that this can become a household brand?
So when we introduced the sourdough bread specifically for the customers, it took a while for the people to get used to the product, for them to understand why it's a little hard, why it's a little sour. So 2018 was that year where, you know, some education transfer was, knowledge transfer was happening for the consumers. And I think by 2019, people started accepting it in a better way. Earlier, only the expats would buy more, and then by 2019, even other people around us, probably who have more exposure and are more well traveled, so they started accepting the product in a better way. And then I think the major point of inflection was COVID, when you know, that day when the Bharat Bandh was announced and every business, everything in the country was forced to shut down for a couple of days. I think it was in April or end of March.
It was 27
Yeah.
March or something.
Yeah. So that's when Mitali and me, like, we started getting messages on our WhatsApp that, please, we request you, just bake for one day. We will buy 20 loaves or we will buy 30 loaves and we will just freeze it in our freezer. This is the mode of our survival for breakfast. That's when we realized that whatever we've done in the last 2-3 years, I think we did something right, because before that we had never received so many messages personally that, you know, people were like, had started getting dependent on the product. So that's when we realized that this product is powerful.
And this entire, I mean, I don't know whether it's a myth or a reality, but sourdough breads are much more healthier than normal breads. Is that a reality?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So why is it healthier? What do you really use for it, and why is it healthier?
So
and what is the content of? आजकल लोग calories or fat content and protein content, and I don't know. How do you measure that?
Yeah. So with sourdough breads, so this whole how we talk about fermented foods. So the whole concept about fermented foods also applies to sourdough bread. So sourdough bread is made with the natural culture. It's made with the natural acidity which we create with by using flour and water. So typical sourdough bread has only three ingredients: flour, water, and salt. So because it has lactic acid bacteria and acetic acid, so that bacteria is gut friendly. So it helps break down the starches in your gut more easily. So that's why it's said that it's more easily digestible. And also because of the presence of the bacteria in the bread also has lower GI.
Right. So you would recommend this for people to eat in all the three meals? Breakfast, lunch, dinner?
Although we want them to, but I'm sure everybody will make their own
I think
balance.
it's only mostly a breakfast.
Mostly
item,
a breakfast item.
breakfast bread.
And tell me, when you started, you were possibly you were the first ones in this market, right? When it comes to taking the market outside of the five-star hotels. I don't even know whether five-star hotels at that time had sourdough bread. Maybe it just as a very...
Yeah, I had never heard of this term
Yeah.
before.
So you were the first ones, and now effectively every corner there is a sourdough bread being available, right? So how are you coping up today with Compete, and that too with such an unorganized Compete?
So I think it's very easy, when you're scaling up, it's very easy to shift to the other side. As in, I mean that one always starts from being artisanal, one always starts with minimal ingredients, and it's very tempting to go on the other side, as in add a couple of more ingredients to increase the shelf life or to increase the longevity of the product, so that you can make it more commercial and make it more easily available in the market. So there's a very thin line between stepping on the other side. So I think that's our daily job, to be on the side of the line, and that's
So it's the
majorly
quality, basically.
basically quality, along with being true to the artisan side of the bread.
Right.
I think also adding to that, we have always we've always wanted that our focus should be on what we know best, like
Yeah.
sourdough breads, croissants, and we went kind of deep in this category, like including different kinds of breads and working on different recipes and all for breads and croissants, versus going wider or focusing more on other categories, like, so that's where I think the brand still is known for breads and
Yeah,
croissants.
and so one is a vertical expansion, second is the horizontal expansion. So you basically went for a vertical expansion and made sure that the breads, you stay in the lines of breads and croissants. Are those the only products that you're doing right now? Are you doing anything more than that?
We do have a couple of, like dry tea cakes, muffins, and all these products are also there in the kitty. But the whole goal is not to go a lot into the other segments as well, because what is our speciality, we want to be in those, in that
right
category.
Now, how many cities are you, how many outlets are you there physically? And I'm sure through online channel you're kind of supplying to all the cities in India, or all pin codes, or you're supplying on certain pin codes through the online channel? Or?
We have 4 production units in the country right now. One is in Delhi NCR, Bombay, Bangalore, and Calcutta. So we cater to the areas around it through the 4 bakeries. We are not available at all the pin codes. We are available at these 4 cities, and some cities which are in a radius of roughly 200-250 kilometer around these manufacturing units.
So tell me, when you moved from Delhi to opening up production in other cities, what was going on in your mind? I mean, how did this expansion idea came to move to the other cities? I believe you're not right now funded by any of the private equities. It's all your funding, right? Or is it? So how did this idea come, and how did and between the two of you, who was pushing and who was staying back and who was saying, I think NCR is our geography. I mean, how did this come?
This is again that one turning point, you can say, in our journey. We did move to a bigger space in Gurgaon during COVID, but the category is such that you have to. There are a lot of processes involved. There is a lot of training of the team that is involved. Lot of effort goes into making your back end strong.
Right.
So lot of our effort went into that. So we did not really think about having one again. How do we manage? We are in Gurgaon. How do we manage this similar setup in Mumbai? Because you have to have like lot of training, and your backend needs to be for the same
Supply chain has to be.
for the same product, the same quality. You have to have equal kind of presence. So that was we were like, is it possible for us to also open a unit in Mumbai and start production there, and then cater to the Mumbai city? So or for that matter, like different locations. But we wanted to give it a shot. We were not sure whether we will be able to do. We were capable enough to do that or
But
not.
किसने आइडिया दिया आपको कि बाहर निकले दिल्ली से बॉम्बे जाते हैं, बैंगलोर हैदराबाद जाते हैं? किसने
I think-
कैसे आया ये जर्मिनेट कैसे हुआ है?
I think the love we were getting in Delhi NCR was so good, and it really motivated us that whatever we were doing was something right. So then we thought that if the people are giving us so much love here, then definitely the product might do well in the next best city, which is Bombay for sure.
Right.
So though Mumbai is not easy to survive in because of various costs, but we gave it a shot, and then we opened our manufacturing unit in 2021. And I think even till date, every time we are taking a new decision, we are always like trying to push our limits. Are we sure we can do it, or are we not sure we can do it? We still give it a shot, and then I think our bandwidth increases there.
So was there any time in your journey up to now that you thought, I don't want to do this? I think let's wrap it up.
I think there's
From
so
the time that you started, for both of you. I mean, I'm sure when you joined her, that may have been a time where you would have said, we want to go ahead. 6 months later, you may have said,
Yeah.
it's a wrong choice.
yeah.
But was there any time where you actually said that, I think we should not do this? Any low moments?
See, I think highs and lows everybody goes through. There are definitely there have been a lot of low moments as well but that has always been in terms of how it's more about managing and keeping the artisanal side intact, and because everything is very involves a lot of human effort, so we have faced a lot of hard times. But definitely this thought of अब छोड़ देते हैं, अब नहीं करना, I think that has never occurred, because there's always some even one good positive feedback which really touches our heart, really motivates us, and then you're ready to do something newer, or either it's a new market or a new product.
So which is the feedback which has touched your heart the most?
So I remember when COVID happened, and we spoke about when we used to start getting orders on WhatsApp. So there were times when we used to bake bread, and I used to kind of stock some of the breads at my home. So a lot of people, and back then it was majorly people who have traveled a lot, or expats, or people who are looking for this bread. So they found us.
Right.
So I'm getting call from such people that we will wait, we will come to your house, we will wait, but I want 10 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
I want to stock it up for the next 2 months. I'll freeze it, I'll slice it and freeze it, but please try and make some loaves for me individually.
Right.
So these kind of feedbacks, and people really wanting the product gave us validation, which we did not kind of look for in the market. So that really motivated both of us, to kind of keep going. So I don't think there was ever a point where we thought कि नहीं अब हो गया बस. Because we started small, we always wanted to take smaller steps, because prematurely अगर आप scale कर लोगे, then you go
Then you
nowhere.
can't go. Yeah, absolutely. So, but just tell me any specific feedback in recent times which has touched you a lot? Any customer call, any customer interaction, anything which has touched you a lot? mean, I can tell you that I eat sardo bread every day. I eat Sochali's every day. It's great.
So actually, I can now just remember one very heartfelt thing which a small child did for us. So he had visited our Vasant Kunj cafe, and so this I think this was a boy who was roughly around 10 years or something, and then and as you know, customers and their families, they come and they sit not just to eat and have coffee, but also to spend some time as a community there. So this small little boy left a little note for little note for us saying, "Dear Suchali and Mitali," if you remember, it had that gruffin on it. So he said, "Dear Suchali and Mitali, thank you for creating this amazing cruffin for me. I have it every day with my mother. You are the best." That's it. And then the name of the boy. So, and then he had drawn a little cruffin with whatever colors he was carrying. It was such a cute stuff. And then we received that note, and we still have that note with us. It really, really melted our hearts. So.
Yeah, and you know, every day, I mean, she spoke about that kid writing the letter. That's very sweet. Every day, my son, I have a 2-year-old son. Every day he wants to go to the cafe to have a cake. I mean, he's so small, but every day he's like, I want to go and have that cake.
So, what's your favorite holiday destination?
My favorite holiday destination.
Most frequented destination for a holiday. Don't tell me it's Sundar Nursery.
No, I mean, out of all the places I visited, I really like Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cherry blossom or?
Yeah, that's cherry blossom, and you know it has a very different vibe compared to the west side.
आपको यूरोप अच्छा लगता है?
I think it requires a lot of planning. So whenever I'm in a mood, so I would just love to hop on a flight and just go to Goa for the pool and the good food. Yeah.
India में आपको कोई जगह अच्छी लगती है?
Yeah, there are a lot of places. I mean, same. I like going to Goa because it is so relaxing.
You guys have holidays together as a family?
We try a lot, but it gets difficult for both of us to travel together.
I like Northeast. I really love going to Leh Ladakh. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
Any hobbies that you have, Suchali? Any hobbies apart from creating jobs?
I think one of my recently developed hobby in the last couple of years is again still, a lot of bakers. As a baker first, as a chef first myself, so I just love scrolling through the new books. So I have this now big collection of books which I have collected in the last 10 years. So in my free time, I just love scrolling through the baking books and the pretty pictures, and I think that's my source of inspiration. I know a lot of people will call it boring, but yeah, that's my go-to thing now to do.
And how about you?
I love sports. So whenever I get time, I'm like, let's go out. Let's either go to the gym or let's go and play. That's my favorite. Yeah. Pickleball, badminton, or going to the gym. So I love spending 1 hour of my day in doing some kind of physical activity.
Great. So Charlie, what's your advice to the younger women? What's your advice to them? Anybody who's in a job or outside a job, what's your advice?
So I think I have been always interacting with many friends, female friends, and also other women who have something or the other in their mind which they want to do, or somebody who's in their respective jobs but have some idea in their mind which they would want to execute or do it for themselves. So I feel we as women, we really spend a lot of time thinking about, we wish to do this is the idea, I don't know whether it'll work out, I don't know whether it'll survive in the market or not. I would say, I think if we have any idea in our mind, and I think we should not just keep planning or not overthink about the idea. Let's just take step one, because the real courage is in taking that step one. Once you've taken the step one, it's 50% of your work is done. So I would really, really, really not only advise but really request everyone to just take step one, because once that is done, then automatically things will follow. Because I feel a lot of women, they always aspire to do something, have a lot in their mind, but they just cannot take the first step.
So it's just start action.
Yeah, at least just take the first step and things will automatically follow. If you really want to do it, it'll happen.
Yeah. And Mithali, what's your advice?
So I have, really observed that there are a lot of people who do not start because they think that they are not ready. And I feel that you can never be 100% ready to start something.
Right.
So, I mean, even if you start, you will face a lot of ups and downs. I mean, that is the course of
Absolutely.
whatever you do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, never wait for to be like 100% ready. Now I'm ready. Now I can do something.
Because you'll never be 100%.
You'll never be ready.
You'll never
Yeah.
be 100%.
Yeah,
So it's never the right time.
Yeah.
Or every time is the right time.
Every time, I think every time is the right
Every
time.
time
You
is
just have to start. Nothing is impossible. I mean, until it's done, nothing is impossible. So you have to also believe in yourself. That is the first step. If you believe in what you want to do, then take that step. Don't wait for things to, align and then you start. I mean, that will never happen.
Right.
So a lot of time is wasted in thinking.
In deliberation. I mean, I
Yeah.
think just, take the first step and you'll never be 100% right. So just do it, right? I mean, any last comments on 30-second pitch on why people should eat Suchali's bread? Sado. Suchali, come on, 30-second pitch.
So I think the product, whatever we eat today should have a meaning of its own. Like, why are we eating? Not just for the sake of filling our stomach or just for indulgence. Whatever we are consuming should have some benefit for our body. So I would really recommend people to have the real sourdough bread. I won't say you have to eat only our sourdough bread. Please have real sourdough bread. Have the real sourdough bread, which is made with a lot of effort and also is fermented for a longer time, because that's when the properties of real sourdough breads is released in the product. So that's my pitch.
What we love having, we want you also to, love having our products. Everything we do is, everything is though made by hand, but everything is fresh. We as a brand are very transparent, and we also tell our customers what we put in, whether it is bread or whether it is croissants. So yes, it is a thing for indulgence, but it is something we also love having, and we also want you to enjoy having croissants.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think it's a fascinating story. Wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
I hope you guys are listed very soon so that we can participate and
You
share in
really
your
want
growth.
us to go IPO soon.
We can, I'm just saying the people who eat your bread will also be your shareholders.
That's when our life will get more tough.
So they will keep on contributing to your growth, right?
Yeah.
So every time they eat, they know that the share price is going up. So let me buy more bread. But thank you very much. Really, really appreciate your time, and it's
Thank
really
you so much.
inspiring.
It was a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Thank you.
Same
Thank you.
here. Yeah.